Hi friends, today we will discuss about how to handle multiple properties file within jar or outside the jar in Spring Boot. As you know, Spring Boot has a one default properties file, that is application.properties file. Whatever we define there, we don't need to write the code to read all those properties. So Spring Boot will do for us. And second thing, you have to understand in which scenario we have to create a multiple properties file. Like when we have to deploy our application in a different environment, like in a tab, test, and prod, and each db config will be a different, like a database name, username, and password will be different. So in that, we have to create the multiple files. We can also do it in a within a one file, like in an application or properties file, but we have to make the changes every time when we will deploy an application. So Spring Boot provides some way through which we can we just have to provide a one little bit configuration, like we have to use a at the rate profile annotation. So we by using that we can do it. I'll show you an example, maybe you will understand better there. So second thing, when you are working in a enterprise application, there will be a different modules. There could be a multiple modules. So we might have a requirement that we have to create a module specific properties file. So for that, we have to create multiple properties file. And there could be a scenario, when you have to define your server specific information. Okay, in that case also we need to create a another properties file. So let's understand by example, one by one. There are some few points that I wrote here. We can handle properties file by using a at the rate property source annotation programmatically, and at the rate configuration properties with at the rate profile, and command line arguments, and environment variable also. Let's understand by example. This is application, I have already developed here. And this is an application for web services I created here. Let's understand this one. As you can see here, I have created a three more properties file. By default, properties file is application.property file. Okay, and I have created three more properties file: one for dev, one for prod, one for test. Okay, and when we have to read all those properties file, what we do is I have already created a class like db configuration. What we use here, at the rate configuration class. Okay, annotation, first one, this. Let's see what it does. Indicates that the class declare one or more at the rate bean methods. That means it will create a multiple bean and use at the rate configuration properties file. Here what we do, we just define here, like, let me show this common value, of a key of property, like in url, username, and password, and driver class name also. This is common for all of them. We just define here, and here we define user url, username, and password, and name. So we can read all these properties from a dot properties file. So we just create a data setup for all those property. Now what we do here, we create a methods, one for dab, test, and prod. Okay, and here what I'm doing, I'm using a at the rate profile annotation. As you can see, and component indicate that the component is eligible for registration when one or more specified profiles are active. Whatever the profiles will active, only that bean will be created. Okay, rest of two beans will not be created here. If I declare here tab, you can see here I define here which profile will active: spring profile active dab. Okay, that means this bean will create. Okay, if I declare here test, then test bean will create here. Okay, if I define here a prod, then this bean will create only. Let's run this application. Let's check. As you can see here, this is the URL, and let me show you which profile is active. As you can see here, the following profiles are active. Okay, that means it will read the properties from this property file, application app and app.properties file. Okay, and also you can see here it also printing the URL. Let me show. Got it. Now second way, suppose I create here one more folder like config folder. I just create here two more properties file, module one dot property file, okay. Another one is also module two dot properties file. Okay. What I'll do, I just define here some key, module one dot key. Okay, here I define is module one. Okay, let me declare here one property, module two dot. This is module two. Let me create a one class that will read both the properties file, or it depends on you which property file you want to read. Read external property. Sorry, went wrong. Read external property. What I do here, I just suppose now we have to read external resource files. Okay, we are not reading the properties files from here. So let's create a one property. Actually, I have already created these two files. now in d drive config folder. So what I'm doing, actually just need to create a one method actually, but to handle the programmatically what we have to do, which approach we have to use. I'm telling you here, like you have to define here at the red bean annotation to create a bean. Okay, just create a method that will return property source placeholder configure. Actually, this is the file. This is not in a class path. That's why I'm using a file system resource here. Just define the path of the file. Okay, so let's open this file. Module one.properties file. Here you can see key and value. Module one.test is key, but in our controller key is different one, this one. So let's make change module one.test. Okay, now let's try to run this. Let's click on and what we will get. Yeah, you can see here this is module 1 1565 exact same value. Okay, so programmatically how we can read the properties file, external properties file, we can do like this. And another way to read the properties file using a command line argument. Okay, let me show you how to read that file. We copy all those properties because all these properties required to make the connection. Okay, now first what we will do here, we will just create a jar file. Let's make one more change here. I'll use here environment variable, not at current value in addition. Using environment env dot get property, we will specify here. Okay, let's create a jar file on my own build. Okay, build successfully created. Let me show you one thing also. Maybe some of you don't know how to configure. So what you have to do, you just have to click on workspace, select your project that I have already selected here. Okay, right here call clean and install. You just need to remove it and click on skip tests if you don't want to use the test cases. Apply and run it. Actually I have already created, that's why I'm not again running this. Now let's use a command line. cmd to run the jar file. This is command, java space hyphen jar space your jar name dot jar. So what we have also to do, we have to use this one -d spring dot config dot location. Config dot location. Okay. First, we will define our this property file, application.properties file, application.properties. Okay. Now module one dot property. Mhm. I think now server is start. So let's make a request from here. Okay. As you can see here, this is module 156565. Okay. This is reading this value from here. Got it? And last one is using environment variable. What you have to do, uh, like command line argument, same like this. You just have to use a set command only. Okay, and just need to remove -d. You have to use, a spring dot config dot location. You just have to define your file path with file name. Then you can execute your jar file. You will get the same result. So first thing, see, one thing let me tell you very clear. When you will go for an interview for an spring boot, interviewer may ask you, it's a 80% chance interviewer may ask you how to handle external config properties file. He may also ask you in which scenario we need external properties file. Okay, all these are the questions interviewer can ask you in this. So in next video, I'll show you when we should use @spring boot application and @enable auto configuration. If you like my video, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching my video.